Good morning, peoples. How are you today? We have a bit of a discussion to make for people today, including Mr. Trump's impending arrests that did not happen. Um, Apparently, they forgot they were supposed to arrest him. Um, and they got paid off with some more Stormy Daniels money. Uh,
Hmm.
That would actually be better if that's what happened. What actually happened is Alvin Bragg looked like a piece of crap because he was hiding evidence from the jury. So that was a
Man, that never
bad
happens.
start.
Never happens. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
The system is perfect.
this shit wasn't going to happen anyway. I mean, it was good for sensationalism. News. Liberals are out there protesting, and all this other two liberals out there protesting in front of Trump Tower and shit.
Ooh,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
so effective.
two
Right.
boomers.
There was one guy that said or basically hang Fauci and then a bunch of feds. And that was about all that showed
Yeah.
up. And some reporters, bunch of reporters, all looking at each other like, what's going on?
So, do you think
That's
anything will come of this at all?
No,
I
Just wait.
I don't think
So,
so.
one at a time. Who first?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think this is just another witch hunt because we're getting close to election season, so they're going to try to do anything to tarnish his name.
Well,
This
define
isn't going.
anything is my question.
Well,
What do you mean
well,
by
it
what?
can be anything. I mean,
No,
we've
but
seen it.
what I'm saying is when Marlon said, "Will anything come of it?" And I'm asking you, what do you mean by anything?
Oh,
yeah.
who me?
Well,
Oh,
no.
And
By
just no
anything, I
question.
mean either laws about the next presidency,
Oh,
um, a delay in the election, or even a possible attempt on the on Uncle T.
Mm.
What I see happening is going to be a tit for tat, right? So they're going to be like, oh, okay, you want to go after Trump for something he did 7 years ago that reached statute of limitations. Okay, we're going off to Biden now. This is what we're going to do. You guys want to play this game? We can play this game. So it's just going to be a big back and forth, but they're not going to get Trump because they would have got him a long time ago, but they are going to get Biden. This is why they're scrambling and hide all this stuff about him and his son. So I
Yeah.
think, with this happening, or I don't think anything's going to happen, but I think, the House is going to go after Biden next.
It's already eroded faith in the system. They've already done as much damage as they possibly could to the judicial system just by Alvin Bragg being in office to begin with, George Soros money. That's another topic. But the point is that they're using the judicial system to go after opponents of the opposite party in a major election year coming this next year. This doesn't get any better. It's already broken now. The facade that we have an actual democracy, the democracy is still working, is laughable. Anybody can see with a brain can see what's happening now and think this isn't good for any of us, regardless of whose side you're on.
Yeah, I can't. I really want to jump on what Corey and Marlon said yesterday on the mix. Marlon just made a comment about it a second ago. It could be to the point where Trump could be behind this, making himself look good regardless. Because honestly, he's the only one that really looks good, either bad or like really it works or he doesn't. He looks good if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So I mean, people are smart enough to realize like if Trump really gets past this, they'll be like, oh well, Trump can really overcome anything. And it's like this superiority complex where you can't. He's untouchable. So make him the president, and you make America look untouchable.
Um, there is one aspect I think we're missing of why he could have done it. I don't know if we're missing it, but it's not been mentioned yet. Um, I'm partially thinking that he did it to see how many people would fall for what he's saying. Because if I say something negative about myself, now I'm going to see the media. Now he'll prove to the people that the media really hates him. Because if he says, and he made sure, remember his words are very specific, an illegal leak, right? They weren't even concerned about the fact that it leaked. They they didn't care that there was a leak about him getting arrested so much as they cared about the fact that he said he was getting arrested and for what.
Yeah.
I think every
Yeah.
outlet just went right over that on purpose, of course, because a leak told you that. Well, you shouldn't have had the leak to begin with, so no one should have known he was getting arrested. It should have just come out of nowhere. But the fact that he said it, and
Yeah.
not one outlet even batted an eye at the one agent that could have leaked. I think he was trying to show people some stuff. Could he have been playing the field? Of course, he's playing the field, but he made a good point that no one else is gonna be willing to call out is that he made them jump.
Oh yeah,
That's a good point.
And you can see how like even Fox News is boo butt hurt right now. You know they're not happy, so you can tell that they're all against Trump. You know who they want. They want DeSantis. That's who they want.
They're propping DeSantis up really hard. I mean,
they don't really want Trump because Trump is the anti-establishment guy. Fox News, all the MSNBCs, they are pro-establishment. No matter how much Fox tries to be, fair and impartial or bipartisan, they're part of the system too. So, I mean, go back and look at some of the Fox, the Fox commentators when they're talking about Trump and this not happening. They look really upset. So you can't trust anybody but your own intuition. And our intuition told us that this wasn't going to happen. I don't know.
Fox lies by omission, while like all the other mainstream news sources like CNN and MSNBC lie by commission. So at this point, you just gotta take everything with a grain of salt and then cross-reference everything. And
I got a question for y'all. How do y'all feel about Michael Cohen coming out of nowhere, just making statements and rambling?
The actual convicted perjurer saying, "Hey, I got dirt on Trump," and everybody's like, "Yeah, let's go with the guy that lied under oath and believe everything he says." That's brilliant.
Yeah, if anybody believes him, they're really lost. They'll believe anything.
For
real. They'll believe anything.
there are people that do.
Oh yeah, I mean those are the useful idiots that they count on.
He literally jumped on MSNBC and said the only reason why he's speaking out is just so Trump doesn't ruin his credibility. But in 2019, you admitted guilty. You already ruined your credibility. It makes no sense. Like he's up there for no reason. I feel like that's really part of the ploy, like on his end.
So I want to address this. What exactly is he being uncovered about? Like what's being uncovered?
Yeah,
like what does that statement mean? Trump is being uncovered. What does that mean?
That he had sex with a porn star. That's it. I mean, if you really want to go down that road, is like why he's in trouble. Is he got in trouble for? They're claiming is that Michael Cohen paid off Stormy Daniels with funds that were legal fees, but it was personal money. It wasn't campaign money. So they're saying that he committed fraud and not writing it down properly of what it was, and that it was a campaign finance violation because it contributed to his campaign vis-a-vis like paying her off to not talk shit, basically. Right? Yeah. And so that's what this whole thing is about, is literally just paying somebody to say, hey, don't talk that we had sex. That's literally it. We're talking about Donald Trump having sex with a porn star, and they've been like paying her off to not talk about it. He would have been in less trouble if he just paid her to create a video, sign an NDA, and not have to worry about any of this.
Yeah, how much you want to bet Erica just regurgitates what she saw?
So okay, who is he really?
Yeah, she.
I just want to know who you think he is. If you think he's being uncovered,
doesn't know.
If he's being uncovered, if that's the case, so far, what do you think has been uncovered about him?
Can I make a prediction? Can I make a prediction about Erica? I think she thinks that Trump should have a moral authority because of his leadership position.
But he wasn't in a leadership position when this happened.
Well, she doesn't know that.
Yeah, of course she doesn't.
I want the question answered. Well, after this question, I'm not tackling no more, but I'd really like to know what exactly
she can't answer.
He was, or what's being uncovered about Trump. I just want to know. As far as Mr. Bragg is concerned, there was a letter going around. It is a letter. Let me see if I can get it pulled up here. By Mr. Jim Jordan to Alvin Bragg. I don't know if y'all seen that letter yet.
Him calling him to Congress.
It's I'm gonna read it here real quick.
Hey, Erica spotted with Whitehouse.
I'm just wondering. Okay, so here's my question again. What is being uncovered about him I'll wait one more time just to get that response. I just want to know what's being uncovered about him. So here's the letter. Mr. Jimmy Jordan. Jimmy J.
I love Jim Jordan.
Let me know if y'all can see that. So you don't know. Okay. All right. I just what I was wondering if he did or didn't.
Oh my gosh, Erica.
Mr. Alvin L. Bragg Jr. Mr. Bragg, you are reportedly about to engage in an unprecedented abuse of prosecutorial authority. And the indictment of former President of the United States and current declared candidate for that office. This indictment comes after years of your office searching for any basis on which to bring charges, ultimately settling on a novel legal theory untested anywhere in the country and one that federal authorities declined to pursue. If these reports are accurate, your actions will erode confidence in the uneven-handed application of justice and unalterably interfere in the course of the 2024 presidential election. In light of the serious consequences of your actions, we expect that you will testify about what plainly appears to be a politically motivated prosecutorial decision. Now, I know that Republicans love to talk. They talk a lot. Like a lot. But they don't ever do anything. So you're telling him that he might have to stand before you guys and testify. People have lied before you, Jim. People came before the so-called House and lied to you blatantly to your face, and you didn't. No one ever went to jail. No one got prosecuted. No one got called out. So why would we be concerned about whether he comes before the House anyway? Who cares? It's just another camera show. You're not going to do anything. Hillary should be in jail, under the jail. Clinton should be in jail and under the jail. Bush currently should be in jail. Obama should be in jail. Schumer should be in jail. Pelosi should be in jail.
Fauci.
McConnell should be in jail. All of these fools should be in jail because you, Mr. Jordan, as much as I like you, are all talk.
Yeah.
In my short time, I've seen at least 6 people, 6, into your face lie, and they come back to you after they have lied, and you've called them out for lying, and nothing happens. So what do I care about if he comes and talks before you? You know what I'm saying?
Talking to.
Why would I care?
It's all theatrics, man. It's political theater. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Now, there are some actual Republicans out there that actually do try to get out there in the forefront and do the right thing. But what happens to them young Republicans or young conservatives? What happens to them? They get shut down from those senior guys. You know what I mean? So they're out there trying to voice their opinion and try to make change, but you have these old rhinos in there that are in charge, that control a lot of the stuff, but they're like, no, you're not doing that today. You know, You want to get reelected, you better cut it off right now. So, I mean, I think Jim Jordan, he is a man of principle, but I think he's influenced a lot by those older Republicans too. You know? So
it's all the game. It's all the Washington game that they've been dealing. It's worse than high school, right? If you're not in the right clique or the right, the right party or the right organization, then nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to keep you ostracized on the outside. Just look at any of the Freedom Caucus people, right? They do not want them there, especially when they held up McCarthy in that vote. It's the same thing that happens every single time. Republicans are spineless. They talk a big game, just like the Democrats, and the pandering. They just have different types of pandering. They're all the same.
Right. And the problem is that people like us will talk about these rhinos, Republicans, but they end up back in office every single time. A lot of Republicans would be like, "Oh, we got to term limits and we got to get rid of these old rhinos," and what ends up happening? They end up getting right back in there after everybody wanted them out. because they're more worried about the Democrat or the other party getting in. So they're going to vote this same person in that hasn't done nothing the whole time.
That's why you have a primary every time.
Yep.
I think that really comes from traditionalism, though. Like they get so caught up with the traditions of how it used to be, instead of just trying to change with the times. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what. You don't think so?
It's boomers always trying to maintain power. It's the same thing. That's the reason why these same people have been in since the 80s, right? They cannot let go of money and they can't let go of power. They're not going to give it to the other generation until they die off completely. They will never let go. Look at Dianne Feinstein. She's 89 years old. She can barely keep a sentence together, and they're still voting for her. They have a dude that was just in the hospital. Well, he's still in the hospital, isn't he? Freaking what was his face?
Lurch? You mean Lurch?
Yeah, Lurch.
Mitch McConnell.
No, Lurch.
Not Mitch McConnell. Lurch, the Democrat that with the brain injury that like they
Fetterman
voted in over Dr. Oz. Fetterman. That's right. I forgot his name for a second. But yeah, they still have that guy in there.
I heard he died.
It's the same thing. Probably.
That's what I keep hearing too, but I don't know.
The point is like it doesn't matter as long as that has a D next to the name in a very D+ district. It will always get that. It won't matter who it is. Same thing with Republican districts. As long as they have an R next to their name, they're going to keep voting for them. Nobody primaries them.
Here's why. And someone brought up a comment of why Trump said protest. It's easy to understand why he said protest. If you can't, okay, there are two reasons people could say he says protest. For them to protest, or just like I said before, the trick tomfool. Now the man ain't dumb, and he ain't dumb. He could have easily said, "I'm getting arrested." Protest, and then knowing he's not going to get arrested, and the people that would make sure they stage a protest to make him look just as bad would stage a protest. That was I think that was big. His goal, like, okay, yeah, protest, and then when nobody, because everybody learned from. Come on, we all learned from J6. Ain't nobody showing up, and then all of a sudden a protest happens. He can say, okay, see, we got him.
So it was 4D chess, you think?
And some of the stuff that happened out there at their protest, I guess a couple cop cars got burned. Now we know ain't no conservative out there burning no cop cars down. Come on, man. We know this. It's not conservatives out there doing it. It's the same thing that happened J6. They had a bunch of infiltrators out there doing all that bad stuff and playing the right. They did the same thing for this. They didn't get enough freaking patriots out there, so they had to stage something so they could say, remember we talked about this. Look at the right. They're bad people. But we know the truth, man.
Okay. I get that they have the power of purse. Money. But they also have the ability to recommend prosecution.
Yeah, investigation.
They have that power to recommend prosecution. Okay, let's go back to Hillary. Hillary Clinton lied under oath multiple times during the Benghazi hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should have gotten her jail time. She also tampered with evidence in her case. That should have gotten her double prison sentence.
Yeah, that was
she also
felony.
caused the death of multiple people at an embassy that belongs to the U.S. That also should have been prosecuted. Technically, she should have been living right now with at least 150-year prison sentence.
Don't also forget the fact that the Steele dossier is the same exact crime that Trump is being charged for right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So,
and they pled guilty to, by the way. They paid that fine.
Now, it's funny that the investigation that they were leading into Trump, there was an FBI agent that got sent to jail for it with the whole Russia thing. Charles McGonigal was arrested. Top FBI official was arrested for having ties to Russian oligarchs. Ironically, he was investigating Trump for having ties to the Russian.
The only person with ties to Russia was the one investigating Russian ties to Trump. It's funny.
You can't make that up. You cannot make this up. Like, even if I was trying to make this a thing, I couldn't make it happen. I want to see something here. Charles McGonigal. I'm going to look up something here, and I'm going to see if my theory is correct. Okay, I'm going to see if my theory is correct. Usually I'm right. So let's group some stuff together here. And Coy may know the answer to this. If you get arrested for what they're charging Trump for, will that keep him from running?
No.
Okay.
The funniest thing about that is you could still run for president from jail. Like
In
all
prison.
this is self-masturbation for the left, right? As soon as they like get like I joked earlier, as soon as they get post-nut clarity and realize what they did, it's all over because
It's
now
done.
they're going to be able to go after all of the other presidents.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one. George Bush is going to be the first one in ICC for war crimes, right? We're talking Obama, we're talking Clinton as well. Like all of them have done some stuff that are going to get them in jail. If they actually convict and indict Donald Trump and they put him in jail, that means every president is now free game.
Nothing can stop what is coming, and
Okay,
it's
so,
gonna come.
Mello can answer this question, and I'm not saying that because he's black. Okay, this is not why I'm telling he knows this answer. Okay, if you go to jail, are you a felon? If you get out,
It depends on your crime. No,
okay, so you could just be an ex-convict.
no, it just
No.
I think it goes into misdemeanor and into I'm not how about this. It's more like if you actually know anything about criminal law or anything else that goes into America's politics, you have misdemeanors, and you have felonies.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go do something that's worth a misdemeanor. You can
Right.
just do something that's worth a felony. Well, the difference is a misdemeanor can come off your record.
Right.
Most likely a felony will stay on.
Right. So, but every person that goes to jail is a felon, right?
No.
Oh, I thought that's what it was. I thought
No,
it was.
no, 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 no.
So I'm doing that because it was a comment.
No.
He can run because he wouldn't be charged with a felony.
Yeah. They're trying to connect it to a felony, but it's
I was gonna
one of
say.
those things of like hoping and praying that they connect it to a felony, but they all know, like, if you know anything about federal prosecutors, they don't try anything they're not sure they can win. And that's the reason they never proceeded with this in the first place with Donald Trump, is they knew there was nothing there. Same thing with Bragg. He looked at this once before, a couple of years ago, and decided not to do it in the first place. Right? So, like, everybody knows this is a freaking bonkers idea of a case that's not going to go anywhere. But we're still talking about it regardless.
I don't mean to interrupt. That is true in the comments. You can expunge a felony, true. So
Yes.
if Trump did get a felony, he can also take it off your record after a certain amount of time.
But he could also win the presidency and then give himself a pardon too. So
Yes.
like,
True. Yeah.
That's
But
true.
he can't run. He can't run if he's a felon.
But he has enough money to get it expunged too.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's gonna be good regardless.
That dude's a
I mean,
billionaire.
technically, let's be real. He makes $3.something billion in his net worth, and he pays $769 in taxes. He already is a felon. He just ain't got caught. You know what I mean?
does that really make a difference? Because you can
not
elect
true.
a dead man. So
That's not true. Taxes is nowhere in the books. There's no law that you have to pay taxes.
Well, it's not just that.
technically,
it's a voluntary system.
It's
by
a
the way.
voluntary system, but they
But
threaten.
remember
you
what
and
he.
scare you.
But remember what he said that like I think I heard this from a Dave Chappelle skit, but he said that he utilizes the very system, and he even said this from a platform, a debate platform. Y'all are using the same system that I'm using. So if you're gonna harp at me about quote tax evasion, buckle up, Hillary, because y'all are using it too. So
Y'all
I mean,
take me to jail for taxes.
Okay,
You're gonna be
here,
right
here,
next to me.
to answer your question, yes, a convicted felon can run for president of the United States. The U.S. Constitution does not prevent a felon from running for office of the president.
I was asking that sarcastically in case you didn't catch it.
Oh well,
Yeah.
for those that actually,
There's a
wanted the
reason
answer
I
to that
asked that.
question,
Did you anyone of you catch it at all? No, my sarcasm is too good now. I'm in too good of shape. That doesn't stop you. Here's what you can't run because of. You can't run if you're not a natural born citizen.
Yeah.
It's
See, like
funny,
me, I would love to. I'd love to, but I can't.
It's funny how you can't join the military or police department if you're a felon in most cases, but you could be the president of the damn United
Right.
States.
You can
know
also
what I
run for
mean?
Congress, and you can be the mayor of DC. So
Our system is totally messed up.
Something tells me Teddy Roosevelt was a felon. I don't know why. Something just tells me he was a felon. He just fits the bill.
Maybe. I mean, but he was shot a couple of times and still gave speeches. So
I mean, think about it.
If Clinton could be president, both Bushes can be president.
yeah.
And now hear me out. Especially Bush Sr. If he could become president after being a part of the Kennedy assassination, I don't know what will stop you from becoming the president.
Right.
Okay, look. If you could actually take part in the planning of the taking out of a president of the United States and still be able to be in a picture being nearby, and people can peg you as being part of it, and you could still be president, man, felony ain't nothing. Come on, man, a felony is nothing. Like, you could beat that rap easy. That's easy money.
Right.
Easy
I mean,
money.
you can be the president of the United States, drone strike a 16-year-old U.S. citizen, and still get a Nobel Peace Prize. So
That's crazy.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, Obama in his time killed an American citizen who was 16 years old in Yemen at a restaurant, by the way. But no, that's fine. Obama can go on about his life after killing somebody. You know, the funniest thing about that, you know what the press secretary said after that? When the press pressed him on it, he's like, well, maybe you should have had a better father. Like, that was the rationale for killing him. No crime, no jury, no justice, just executed him in Yemen. But yeah, no, like Donald Trump, banging a porn star and paying her off. That's the big issue. But we got Jeffrey Epstein's client list that's still out there that nobody cares about, apparently, because Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of trafficking to nobody. Mm-hmm. By the way, not a single person ever was on Epstein Island.
And yet we have flight logs with names that we can visibly see.
I think I know what it is now. I know what it is. They're mad that Trump is living his best life. He is the definition of an American man. Think about that. You are rich, successful, white, and you're sleeping with porn stars, getting away with it, using someone else's money.
And his wife is hotter.
Your wife is attractive,
hotter than all their wives.
Just like I said, he could have just paid her for a video, and none of this would have been a problem. By the way, if he'd just paid her, like
if he had just called it OnlyFans, he'd have been fine.
Exactly, he could have called it OnlyFans. Fine.
Yep,
totally fine.
Hey, Trump, here's what my suggestion to you. Okay, plead OnlyFans. Say, hey, I'm gonna plead the OnlyFans defense, Your Honor. Stormy was a predated OnlyFans account holder. She really ushered in the era of OnlyFans, and I was just one of the first. That's all. Yeah. So you can't really find me unless you're gonna find everybody else.
Okay, fine. I lied. It wasn't legal fees. It was for porn acting. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
For production fees.
So, speaking of war crimes, y'all remember the target gone wrong for Biden yet? The one where he blew up
I remember that one.
Family's car.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember the aid worker and 10 kids? Yeah.
In Syria. Y'all remember that one?
Yes, I remember that.
He would also need an arrest warrant from, the international court.
That's right.
I'm just saying that if you're going to throw stones, don't be like standing literally right in front of the glass window on the biggest window in the house, in a glass house.
Didn't Obama drone strike an American citizen also?
Oh,
yeah, I just mentioned that one.
He has the record for the most bombs dropped.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he got the nickname Obama for a reason.
Yeah, he dropped the
Democratic
most
Party, the party of peace.
We love peace and democracy as long as we can put it through your window predator drone.
And on fire.
Let's not forget he was also the deporter in chief as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that too. Kids in cages. Where do the cages get built? I don't know. They just magically appeared out of nowhere. Some leprechaun came over a rainbow with a pot of gold and said, "Here, build cages for kids."
That was Fauci. That's what happened.
Yes,
he was a leprechaun. So here's what we got so far. The DA is backtracking right now. Bragg is. He's backtracking. Eventually he won't bring anything, and it would all be just like they were hoping the laptop was. This will be. It'll flare up and it will rustle itself down by the time 2024 rolls around. It won't matter.
No.
Now, what will matter, and I'm hoping against what the history has told us, that if the Republicans bring an investigation with the information they have, even we have it, okay, about Mr. Biden, that we can finally see somebody brought to the gates of the penitentiary on Guantanamo Bay and be placed there for what Joe Biden has done to this country. Now, if you need a rundown, Let's start with one of the more sinister ones. I believe he has his hands bloodied by every C-19 death of old people in the country post 2020. Okay. He also has his hand in destroying every person in the United States that has lost middle income wages. His hands are also bloody from the amount of suicides due to lack of jobs in the United States. His hands are also bloody from all the children that have dropped dead. I would even go so far as to say that Trump also has a hand in that for pushing through the vaccine. I'm going to say it. He shouldn't have been ushering it in at all. It should have been put on the back burner and tested for 30.
Yep.
And he has his hand bloody in one of the more worse ways is by having adult men that have perverted fantasies be placed in front of children and passing laws to enable it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think he should be tried for.
The pedophile in chief.
I think he should be tried at an international tribunal for that.
It'll come, man. Here's the thing: like they did an interview with Michelle Obama a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago, whenever, and they asked Michelle Obama, "Do you think Joe Biden should run for president again?" She didn't say no, and she didn't say yes. She stuttered. She's like, well, she didn't have an answer. So his own party doesn't want him to run. This is why, whoever the Republican nominee is, they're gonna win, as long as the Democrats don't cheat. So if Trump runs, he's gonna win in a landslide because there's a lot of people, a lot of independents that are done with the Democratic Party. If Trump wins, you can bet your butt that he's going after Biden. Guarantee.
Well, he wouldn't be able to do it necessarily.
If we have the House and the
He
Senate,
would have to do it by proxy.
Would try.
Yeah.
It will happen.
He would try.
But, before it happens, what's going to end up happening? Biden probably croak and be like, oh, it's too late now.
25th Amendment takes place.
25th Amendment. Put him in a freaking...
No, because nobody in the DNC wants Kamala Harris running the show either.
Yeah, they don't want that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the only reason they haven't removed Biden right now. Because they could go into his office today and go, hey, man, your time's up. Can you, step down and let Kamala go? But then she did such a poor showing over the last few years that they're like, we can't have her run as president and we can't have her be president until he's done.
Yeah.
They know she doesn't have a shot. She never had a shot to begin with. Once Tulsi took her down in the debates, her career was over.
You want to see the destruction of a country? Put Kamala Harris in charge. You think Biden's bad? Put Kamala Harris in charge.
It would just be because she's incompetent. That's the only reason it would turn worse, is because she would not be able to handle the pressure of that. And then just I don't know what I'm doing here. I just kind of made the ride with the old dude. I don't know what I'm doing in this office.
Yeah, she's all over the place. She can't really think for herself. So she'll really pass or sign or anything that comes to her, she just agree with. She's like a good yes man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But back to the point of the presidents, I honestly, as an accelerationist, think they should just go ahead and arrest Donald Trump just so we can get over the facade of we actually have a justice system that's working properly, right? And then we can actually go after all of the other presidents that need to be gone after for all the things.
It'd be an illegal arrest because there's nothing to arrest him for. That's
that's nothing before.
It's an illegal arrest because there is nothing to arrest him for. There is a statute of limitation. There's a statute of limitation.
I understand that. Yeah. I understand that.
There's not any on murder.
But see, that hasn't stopped these people from, and I use these people very specifically.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't stopped them before from pulling illegal arrests with little evidence.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's not going to stop. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
But no, that's my fault. I apologize, y'all. But Coy just said a good point, though. What if this is all a ploy to set Trump up to a way where he has a justified reason to go after them by using himself? You know what I'm saying?
True.
Just make myself look like the position where it's bad. Get myself
so he can go after the rest of them.
Then he can go after every single one because he did it with Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? So.
That's a good point. I can see him doing that.
Jeffrey got away with it for a long time. He was protected for a long time.
That's how Trump operates. He plays that Trump card. Where do you think the term came from? So I mean,
somewhere else.
yeah, he's a lot smarter than what people give him credit for. This dude has been dealing with all types of people his whole life. He's from New York. He's an old man. He dealt with some crooked people throughout his career, so he knows how they operate. You know what I mean? And he knows the government is crooked, so he knows how to deal with these people.
I don't know why y'all wouldn't want to spend the entirety of the next presidential cycle like this.
Ugh,
Yeah.
stop, 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 stop,
Didn't speak twice
stop.
in the debate last week. So if it was legalized,
Stop.
No, y'all don't want to hear that for like 4 years straight.
They're playing
That's
that
the
gecko
cackle
right now.
I don't know whose cackle's worse, hers or Hillary's.
Oh,
I think they're about the same.
Hers.
They're about
Hers.
the same.
Hers.
Kamala.
And
Yeah.
Hillary's
know
is
what-
just evil. She cackles because she kills people.
You know what kills me about Kamala is like whenever she gets up there and talks to people, she like talks to everybody like they're freaking
Five.
idiot. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're
You
fine.
know, like when we go to space and you see the rocket ship take
Did
off.
you see that pep talk? For her alma mater at the NCAA tournament for the Bisons, did you see her pep talk?
Oh, they booed her. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, not the fans. I'm talking about in the locker rooms after they lost.
Yeah,
And she's like trying to give him a pep talk, and it was the worst. It's
It
like,
was
it's
cringy.
the worst.
Very cringy.
Oh, send me that. I gotta see that. I want to see that.
Friend, it is awful.
He said, "Send me that."
You
I don't
guys
know how.
worked so hard,
I have a
really
question
hard.
then.
It was hard.
I have a question. Okay. Let's assume on a liberal standpoint that he does get arrested.
Okay.
The
Mhm.
charges hold up. I mean, this is their you know, it's a utopia for them happens. He gets arrested. He gets it stands, the charges go through. Do you believe that in their mind they have grounds to, I don't know, I should say this without getting the channel taken down. To prep a way for him to never get out of prison.
Probably.
No.
No.
I mean,
No.
two guards will just fall asleep, and we'll lose all video evidence that even exists. So.
He'll get no. It'll never happen, man. Where are they
Why?
gonna put him? Where are they gonna put him? General
The brave
population.
is what I was talking about.
They can't because like
Right.
Secret Service still has to protect the president. So you'd have two Secret Service dudes just sitting there inside of the cell with him day in and day out as he's in jail. It'd be weird. It'd be ridiculous. It's like what are you gonna do? You're gonna let the guard? You're gonna let the Secret Service carry their guns in General Pop? That's gonna be a great idea.
Yeah.
No, not only that, it would immortalize him. It would make him too much of a martyr. They don't
Yep.
want that to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. He'd be a whole martyr. They
you want a Mandela? That's how you get a Mandela right there.
Right.
You'd have a bunch of Trump supporters, planning some shit to break him up out of jail.
Exactly. That's just what I was about to say.
They're gonna do him like they did. What's that drug lord's name? What's
El
his
Chapo.
name? El Chapo. They gonna
Oh, yeah.
dig his ass up out of there.
Was
Do you really
it
think-
it was his son that they did that for?
But do you really think liberals have that much foresight to be able
Yeah.
to pull that kind
Yeah.
of?
Well,
think
not
so?
just
The
foresight,
TDS
they
is
have the
too
reach, though.
strong.
They have the reach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look, I get you might say it might not happen. Okay, let's go with it might not. They got and were able to get away with cameras going down for Epstein's removal from prison. I'm not saying he's dead. His removal from prison. They have enough clout for that. They have enough clout to keep the Epstein's full list sequestered. They have that kind of clout. They also have the kind of clout that you can blatantly see a spouse of a senator and a spouse of a congresswoman and a spouse of a president doing horrible things, and they play it off like it's nothing.
Yeah. Like
So
the,
I think they
Clinton
have
maid
the reach
that
to do just
committed
about what they
suicide for
want.
the trucking.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I mean, these politicians, especially on the left, there's some on the right too. They're all in cahoots with each other. But you're right, man. They have a lot of power, a lot of pull, and their hands are in everything.
Well,
So
politicians really don't need
they're-
to do anything either.
they're thinking ahead on, if we get this, how can we lock them up without the people revolting? Because the first thing they have to worry about the people going ballistic.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Americans, especially the people that support the man, that know it's bullcrap, it's a witch hunt, they're not going to sit back and take that You can bet your butt on that.
It's
So they have to figure out how to keep the people calm, and then they have to show exactly what he did in order for them to lock him up. And they go, oh yeah, extortion, whatever the hell they want to say. And then you have to look at all the other politicians, and then that's where they start that downhill spiral, that downward spiral. Like, okay, what about Hillary? What about this? What about this? So it's going to be very dangerous if they do that. Because
right, so they're going to shoot themselves in the foot one way or another.
Exactly, one way or the other,
So-
they're going to shoot themselves in the foot.
So,
But I
in my
can't say they
opinion,
don't have the foresight.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't say that
Yeah.
either.
right,
no, it opens
So, I
the
mean,
door.
so
They open the door.
right,
Sorry,
and so
Dave.
my no, I'm just saying that in my opinion, like they can, even with their reach and even with their clout, like I don't think they're smart enough to really consider the ramifications long term of what they could plan on doing. So if they arrest Trump, will galvanize the Trump supporters. The Trump supporters will galvanize.
Mhm.
And if they try and push a narrative that he was criminalistic, it's just the rest of America who are finally awakening to the reality of how much of a crap show this is. They'll be like, but wait, what about this person, that person, that person?
Mhm.
Yeah, you're
But-
going to
but
open
you
the door and
forget-
think it's legitimate to investigate them now.
You forget that 80% of the left controls majority of the media.
Mhm.
So let's just say if they do go through it and Trump does get arrested, they do think long term, because if they're going to aim for the head, right? So this is technically their last chance of aiming for the head. So they're putting their all into it. So that's what kind of scares me, because they really might have something. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Well-
It's just the fact that Trump really might overcome it still, but they still at least did some type of damage. You know what I mean? But I don't see
The
it's
only
not
thing
like-
they have left, if this doesn't work, is for him to literally die. That's it, because they've already destroyed his character up to this point. They've done everything possible, including impeaching him twice. The first time in history, mind you, that this has ever happened. And they're still trying to do more historical things to him. So at what point are they going to stop is the better question.
But that's what
Yeah.
Marlon was saying. That's probably why he's probably going. If he gets reelected, bro, they really might assassinate him. Let's be real. They really might assassinate Trump. I hate to say that out loud, but if he does get elected, they might just assassinate the boy.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They've done it before.
I mean, they've tried during his campaign. I mean, remember that crazy dude that tried to jump on the stage and everything? I don't know what he was doing, but I wouldn't put it past them. It wouldn't be the first president that they,
Right.
took out because they didn't agree with him. So,
Like I said, this is one of the last things, but I think the last ditch effort is going to be tying all the vaccine deaths to Donald Trump during 2024. That's going to be the big push you'll see
Ooh.
next year.
That's good. That's a good
Yeah.
thought.
I can tell you what might take place and what's already planning to take place. And if you've ever read up on it, good. If you haven't read up on it, do so. They're so brazen they have it in PDF format everywhere. 2030 and 2021. Read those agendas, and you will get a nice breakdown of why I still have a high expectation that 2024 will not take place, and I have a high expectation that I would say around 40%, 45% that they are going to make at least an attempt, if not succeed, on him. They don't care about whether he's a martyr because there is no one else to replace him. While you may have the people, hear me out, that would be for him and may not vote for your guy. If 2020 proved anything to you, it should have proven to you that regardless of how many people come out to vote, okay, so I won't say it because you know what they'll say I said. They can remove all of your influence. And now that they have Trump gone, they don't have to worry about who's going to find out. So this is why I say they have the upper hand on that level, like never before. Okay, so I'm gonna read you out some titles here of Agenda 2030. Okay, now listen to the Sustainable Development Goals and Targets. There are 17 of them. I'm just gonna read the headlines of them, and you tell me which one do you think jumps out at where we are now. Okay. Goal 1, end poverty in all its forms. Goal 2, end hunger. I don't know why you wouldn't just class poverty and hunger in the same bracket, but oh well. Achieve food security and improve nutrition. Ensure healthy lives. Again, I'm not sure why you wouldn't put that with the hunger one. Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education. Achieve gender equality. Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable energy. Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, global, by the way. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Reduce inequality within and among countries. Make cities and human settlements inclusive. This is about where we are right now in this bracket right now, okay? Ensure sustainable consumption. Take urgent action to combat climate crisis. Conserve and sustainably use oceans and seas. Protect, restore, promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems. Promote peaceful and inclusive societies. Okay. And finally, strengthen the, listen, this is a big one, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development.
Stakeholders.
This is all government language, correct? Government.
Well,
use
in
language.
essence, yes.
So
Davos
whenever,
language.
I mean, either way you look at it, when the government says we want to promote health, that's when I run. FDA is a prime example.
The biggest kicker for
Everybody's
me is
equal
this.
if you're all poor.
This is where we are now. This is why I say they will make a charge and a try on. They're already trying to put him away first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership. What was the one thing Trump was against? The biggest thing he was
globalism.
Against. Global.
Yeah, it was. That's true.
And if they are saying to strengthen the means of implementation and to revitalize the concept because it did get jacked up, the only person on the United States soil, outside of maybe DeSantis, that will stop at nothing to ensure that America thrives would be Donald Trump. Like him or hate him, that's his goal. And their goal is completely antithetical to that goal. If you're a problem to them, they've already tried putting you in the Marxist bracket of discreditation and smearing. That didn't work. Now they're trying to remove from options his worth. That probably won't work either. The only effort left is in the last straw of Marxism, and that's complete removal from the human realm of your opponents. That's the only thing they have left to do in order to ensure that very last statement of strengthen the means of implementation.
And that's very true. So if anybody doesn't understand what Marlon's talking about, it's called Agenda 2030. Agenda 2030 is part of the Great Reset program that Klaus Schwab always talks about at the WEF. So that's whenever they talk about the Great Reset, they're actually talking about Agenda 2030. So if you go back, what was another thing that was a monument that was part of Agenda 2030?
The Georgia
Guidestones. Yeah, go back to the Georgia Guidestones. And one thing that Marlon didn't mention, or it's probably not written in it, that he didn't read, or probably not in there, is about population control. Also,
yeah, that was the first four.
They're already implementing that.
Yeah, so
that's already in full swing.
Yep, and they're doing that through vaccines. They're doing that through keeping us sick, through the pharmaceutical industry. They're doing that through, there's a lot of natural ways of healing yourself, which the FDA doesn't approve. So, there's so many ways that they're trying to lower the population. They're doing that through promotion of homosexuality and transgenderism and sex changes to keep the population down, through all these hormone pills and all this stuff. Yep, not having kids. So they're promoting it now. The only thing they haven't done is flat out kill the people that they don't think are useful in our country, and that's
easy done through war. We're already at the precipice of World War III, and that's another step. I mean, we've already seen the population reduction already happening right now. China is falling out. So is Japan. Those are the two major players right now that are having population reduction. Most of
I would even argue most of East Asia are suffering from a population crisis. Like birth rates,
all the people are old, and there's not enough young people to replace them, right?
And not only that, but like birth replacement rates are falling well below the baseline average of every single country. Like I heard
it's supposed
Italy,
to be 1 and it's like 0.8, I think, right now.
Right. Well, I mean, you're supposed to have 2 to replace mom and dad.
Yeah.
But I mean, Italy is trying to pay people to have more kids, and they're obviously bankrupt. Greece is doing the same thing. Like I think Korea is now the birth replacement rate is like 1.2.
Wait. How much are they paying to reproduce?
I don't know. I mean, like,
that's
gonna be a passport, bro.
That's interesting. That's just interesting. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying that's interesting.
Hey, look, if Alaska can pay you to live there, that's not that far fetched.
No,
what is it now? 2,400.
They're also giving away houses in Japan and like rural areas too, just for people to live out there. But the point being is that the population control is already happening. We're just not, and most people aren't seeing it. Like they think there's too many people already. It's like, no, there's not. We're actually going in a decline. The human population is declining, and it's going to drop out in the next 20 years, and nobody realizes it yet.
Because nobody cares, because they've been fed this false narrative that we don't have enough resources in this gigantic world to support everyone. We do have enough resources. The problem is that the government controls all those resources and keeps us from accessing them. But there's enough to go out there.
On top of that, it's also a philosophical game. It's we might not have as many resources as we're claiming that we do. But also, it's all about you and what you get out of it. So consume as much as you can out of it and live selfishly and materialistically, because, it's all about you having the clout, and it's all about you having, the Jordans and the Gucci and all that stuff. But
also the next wave to hit us, which is already underway right now, is the food.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they've hit us with everything else, but the food is about to be the worst. That's going to separate the two.
Yeah,
the food is already killing you. Like if nobody's paying attention to what they're putting in foods right now and all the preservatives that are going in your bodies, the things you're eating are giving you cancer. Nobody's talking about the same thing that you're eating off of. The things that you're eating out of are what causing a lot lot of your health issues. Right. Everything is killing you slowly.
and we talked about this a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago about you guys better start preparing yourselves. Don't get comfortable, and you need to get out there and like I said, go to these websites to where you get all this food stuff and these dry fruit, these dry frozen foods, and start preparing for stuff like that. Don't
shop local. Go to your local farmers, man.
Don't let this stuff come in like a thief in the night and hit you in the face, and all of a sudden you're struggling and you don't have stuff to survive. You need to start planning now, because the Great Reset is already in full effect. Look at the banks crashing. Look at what our dollars are going to. It's all going digital. They're going to be in control of that. They're going to be in control of the food. They're going to be in control of resources. There's states to where you can't even catch rainwater. That should tell you something like that. That's a tyrannical government. If they're telling you can't catch rainwater, there are states that are telling you can't grow your own garden without FDA approval. Because they
wait until we go back to the King's Forest.
They want to give you everything, and everything that they're giving you is poisoning you. That's the whole plan.
Did you see the video about them 3D printing steak?
Yeah,
they 3D printed steak. That's crazy. And they made plastic out of.
Bill Gates is really on that fake steak stuff, and he's one of the biggest owners of farmland in the United States right now, right?
Yeah, but think about
the population reduction guy is in control of part of your food supply. Great.
Just think about how they want us to eat bugs. And there's a really great video, and I'll show Marlon. I'll after this is over. But there's a guy. And dang, I did it on the hooch when I did one of my quickies, and he talked about you have to justify your existence, right? Yeah. So at some point, all these Americans that want the government involved in their lives, in their medical attention and everything, eventually when they start running stuff back and you go to get some medical care, but the government's in charge of it, you're going to have to justify your existence to them. You're stage 4 cancer. Why should we give you treatment? Nah, we're not. You're too old. And it's going to come down to that. This is why conservatives and us patriots, conservatives and patriots are fighting so hard for the government not to be involved in our lives, period.
Well, you look at Great Britain's NHS, the socialized healthcare they have. You look at Canada's socialized healthcare. I mean, in order for you to get an MRI, it takes at least a good week for you to actually get in, or you pay extra. Oh, it's not. It's worse.
No, it's like a month or more.
Okay, all right. Well, it's
areas,
worse than I thought.
Yeah.
And you have to pay extra. You have to pay extra to go to a quote super hospital. When you're here in America, you just go to a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you know?
it's not even that bad. It's worse than that. It's like, hey, so I know you're in pain and I know you have cancer, but wouldn't you rather just die? It would be easier on us.
I heard that.
I mean, look at Canada. Canada's doing that Dr. Kevorkian stuff right now.
They are right now.
Yep.
So real quick to wrap stuff up. If we see in the next couple of days a backtracking by the DA to have any kind of charges brought up on Trump, do you think at that point they will give in and give up, or do you think they're just going to put it on that back burner until about 2 or 3 months before the actual election is held, and they'll drop something big to try and pull him out of the campaigning?
I think that's a good possibility right there.
It's going to be the vaccine. That's what's going to be the thing that they're going to go next for.
So
they're going to pull out the myocarditis. They're going to say, look at all these people. It was Operation Warp Speed. Look at all the damage Trump has caused by putting out this vaccine. It's his fault. It's not Biden. We were just handed this information as it was we were coming in. It wasn't us. We didn't make it. It was Trump.
They have it already said, but they have it already said. Go ahead, Melo.
Or I don't think that they. Now, I'm not gonna lie. You guys are right about the whole COVID scheme. That will come up. But I feel like before that comes up, they'll speak on the fact that he had a $1 trillion deficit. That is that's only 3 other presidents that had. I mean, 2 other presidents that had it besides him. So if they bring that up, they can also equivalent the fact that he wasted money using the campaign money for Stormy Daniels, which will justify their case.
I could see that, but the counter case to it for the 4-year regime Biden had is exponentially worse. Because whatever he offset in the deficit, whatever he applied to the deficit, Trump, that more than made up for when the economy went straight through the roof. Because you weren't feeling any inflation from the so-called deficit when it went up. If we had continued, now think about this, if we had continued on the same path that he kicked off, the deficit would actually start to go down.
That's right.
But they said that oh, my bad, let me interrupt.
No, go ahead.
No, I was asking because they said that Biden and his administration, they had it drop from $1 trillion. He dropped it to what, 900? That's not true?
No.
Oh.
No. 2019 before the pandemic was the best year of anybody's financial life since 2008. It was going away. Things were getting better. Once COVID happened, COVID was it.
Yeah, just, I know we got to get off here soon, but everybody's got to understand that this is just another shiny object. And I talked about this on my TikTok videos. This Trump thing and all this crap they're talking about is just another shiny object. Pay attention to what's going on with the financial system, because they're implementing this new financial system, the QFS, the quantum financial system. Get with your bank and figure out what's happening to your money. Because before you know it, you're going to try to access your bank one day and you're not going to see anything in there because they're switching over. So pay attention to that. This is just a fart in the wind to keep us occupied like the useful idiots they think we are. Keep your eye on a prize. This is just political theater. Keep your eye on your money, because that money's going to play a big part here in a couple months.
So this next week, guys, we have a big endeavor we're going to be trying to do for shows. Starting, I think, Monday, we are going to be tackling the wars that America has been in that they should not have been in international countries, and which president started it and for what purpose. And not what they say the purpose was, but what, after the war was over, you could easily see what the war was about with the hindsight. Today, however, we know exactly going in what they're going in after. It's a lot different now, but back then, they gave you what they wanted you to have, and you went with it, and it wasn't until after you could figure out why they went in. So we are going to go and tackle that aspect of the United States culture. We haven't decided how far back we're going to go yet, but we're going to try and go as far back in history as we can that's recordable, that we can find good information on, to see when exactly the advent of the military-industrial complex was invoked.
Ooh.
I think they actually showed up long before their name was really recognizable. I wouldn't even put it past it to have been started in the very onset of 1800. That's just me. So
Yes.
we'll go and take a look about that. That'll cover, I'd say, about easily 2 months of shows
That's going to be good stuff right there. I love it.
easily. So
We could
prep
just
for that.
do it like reverse chronological, just start going back from,
Yeah,
from now
but
to
the
backwards.
hope is to start from the very first one that's recognizable.
Vietnam.
Vietnam's an easy one.
Vietnam. That's the best,
Well,
the biggest one.
I would say at least World War One.
you could do that, or you can go as far back
To the
as
Revolution.
the
Or Desert Storm.
The Banana Wars is another one in the Dominican Republic. That's one we could start at pretty easily. That
Bay
was
of Pigs
just
is a
before
good
World
one.
War One.
Wait, are we starting from like now going back, or starting from then till now?
Then till now.
Then till now, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. If you wanted to go far back as the Mexican Revolution, our hand there.
Oh, we were involved in that too, weren't we?
So I mean,
You guys email us too. That's why we have an email, because we really like to interact with you guys. So if there's, whatever war you think we should cover, just shoot us an email, And we all get Marlon usually controls the chatter or what's going on, and he'll let us know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he'll let us know, like, hey, make sure you guys, read up on this, make sure you guys know what you're talking about, because this is what we're going to discuss. And then we'll all do our thing, and we'll get in here and discuss it, and give you props for coming up with a good topic.
Depending if you get us crap, we're not going to
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want no crap. So with that in mind, if you guys have any questions, it's thesavagepatriots@gmail.com, thesavagepatriots@gmail.com. Feel free to leave as many comments as you want under our videos. Like, share, and if you have not yet subscribed, please go do so at The Savage Patriots on YouTube. And
Where are
will
we at now in
see you guys on
subscribers?
Friday. We are at 1,000, almost 1,050. We're close to it.
Hey.
So
There
we
we
only
go.
got a little bit more to go to get what we want to get. So we are moving and a hollering. So eventually we will become the best political podcast on YouTube. Just watch.
Thanks to you guys.
So we love you. Have a grand rest of the day. We'll see you on Friday. We have not picked the topic yet, but it'll be spicy. Just look for it. And we'll talk then. Until then, this is the Savage Patriots signing out. Peace.